Hello, this is Patriot ePlay. I'm Ashton Laub. I'm here with
Chris Totten, Assistant Professor of Mobile Game Design.
and today I'm here to interview him on his new game he released called Swarm. Well, first, Professor Totten, let me ask you, how did you get into the game?
Well, thank you for asking that, Ashton. I have my degree in architecture from the Catholic University of America, and while I was in school, a buddy of mine who was in computer science said, "Hey, you know a lot about art programs and 3D animation and things like that. Why don't we make some games together?" We didn't end up releasing anything substantial, but I really enjoyed doing game art. This was at the time that a lot of academic books on game design were coming out, so I started reading all I could. And when I eventually got out of grad school, people weren't really building anything, so I started teaching game development software and started writing and got into to game academia.
Oh, great. Oh, so since we're on that, what is your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game of all time is Super Mario Bros. 3.
Was that relevant when you made your new game? Was that like something you based it off, or like you use a little bit of that like childhood, I guess?
Actually, it's funny you mention a lot of childhood stuff. For this game, a lot of game design right now is very like, let's make art games. We really just wanted to make something kind of fun that would be fun to work on, that made us feel good. And for the team, there were a lot of fans of Mario, Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, Super Monkey Ball, things like that. So we were trying to pull from all of those and kind of just made what felt good to us.
All right, well, let's show them your game.
Okay, so this is Swarm. Hit play. We got two modes: quick play, which are traditional mobile style courses that can be played in under a minute or two, and then we have the gamer friendly levels in story mode. I'm going to go to level 3 here. So there's our character Hot Rod. So this game, it started as a game project where you roll a character around, or you rolled a ball around on the screen, and it would get chased by bad guys, and you had to lure the bad guys into traps. So very unconventional play style, because you usually have some sort of offensive weapon. We wanted to make a defensive game. So here we can roll around stuff, and here's one of the little cop characters with their funny animation. So I'm gonna use this half pipe here to take out some of the bad guys, and there's a gate up there. As I lure the bad guys into traps, the number on the gate goes down, and then I can go through it.
Oh, well, that's very interesting. But I see, like, is what really influenced the design level? Like, what other games from your childhood did you implement that you might have thought of?
There's a buddy of mine once called this Tony Hawk meets Pac-Man, and there's a little bit of each in there. There's also a little bit of Mario Kart. Not as much in this level right now, but once we get into let me see if I can take these guys out. Alright, I'll show you the jungle level, and that's a good...
Right, well, why are you doing that? Tell me about the team who made this game.
It was actually a pretty small team. It was a bunch of really, we call ourselves basement developers. We'd go over to our buddy Nick's house. It's actually a few they're still there, Boeing engineers. They're UI engineers at Boeing, and they wanted to start making games. They didn't have an artist on staff, so I joined up for this game, and we'd just get together on weekends and put out levels and put out gameplay.
Definitely old school.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what were some of the most interesting things you had to do while making this game?
One of the most interesting things about this, I'd say, is, there's always problems getting artists and engineers to speak the same language, definitely. But given the tools we were working on, because I'd known these guys for a while, so we actually worked pretty well together. I think it was definitely tough to manage even a small team. Because there's a difference between what you want to do when you're an indie game developer and what you can do. I'm actually, we're very proud of the amount of work we got done. But there's always parts where, you look at your game and you're like, oh man, I wish I could have done this or that. So definitely the dare to make something very traditional that you see come out of bigger studios, that was definitely a challenge. And, again, we succeeded. We definitely learned a lot about our limits in terms of how much one person can produce. But, we delivered on time. That's the big thing. Like, all this is about, we did this in 8 months.
Wow.
So this wasn't like where you see a lot of games today, a lot of AAA games, they take several years to make and cost, hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is a few people in a basement, more or less on pizza money, in 8 months. So
well, that's the best way to do it, right?
Oh yeah, and we had a blast doing this. So yeah, there's a lot of love in this game, but we just really wanted to dare ourselves to make a product like this and see if we could deliver it on time, and we did. So
well, okay, well, seeing you beat that level, and you're the art designer, obviously. What do you know about this character creation?
So thank you for asking that. I actually released a book within the last year called Game Character Creation with Blender and Unity, and the book teaches readers how to use an open source free 3D animation suite called Blender that can be downloaded at www.blender.org, and a free game engine called Unity 3D, which can be downloaded at unity3d.com. And this takes you from the idea of a character, just on paper sketching, to putting it into a first-person zombie game. So you can see in the book you make a zombie. So it's a really great way to get into into making games.
Okay, so going back to that, your favorite game. I'm assuming your favorite character you ever played as was Mario?
Yes.
Alright, so how many characters do you think you created that you actually liked?
That I liked? I actually do have a little bit of a soft spot for Hot Rod. I once did a game project for a conference, for like a level design talk, where I did Tim Burton style characters. That was a lot of fun.
Dang, that sounds like...
Oh, I can get you pictures.
So do I sound so is this what, like the book I need to make everything I ever need for a video game? Art-wise?
Well, I always tell people, if you can model a character, if you can wrap your head around modeling a character, then modeling, doors, windows, environmental objects, things like that, it gets a lot easier. It'll teach you a lot about 3D animation. It'll give you a good introduction to the kind of software that we use at Mason. We teach a piece of software called 3D Studio Max here in our game program. That's used by a lot of local studios as well. So that'll give you the know-how to understand that kind of art. And really what's great about this is it'll let you, a lot of our students, end up learning this software anyway, because then they can go out and make games on their own without needing the backup of a big studio. A lot of these pieces of software are several $1,000s. So
let me ask you this. Do you make your students buy this book?
Not yet.
Not yet?
They, maybe someday. I haven't gone that far yet.
You haven't gone that far?
Yeah.
Alright, so I know you made all these characters. You made this game, Swarm. You made Hot Rod. What is the future of gaming?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because we're at a really cool time in the gaming industry where, as evidenced by something like this book being released, and by us in a basement making a game, you don't need to be a big guy to make a game. You don't need to be a studio of hundreds of people with hundreds of thousands of dollars to make a game. You can get free software, you can get free tools to make games, and you can go make games on your own, and then it's relatively cheap to get a license to launch to Apple, to the iPhone or the iPad, or to Android devices. So there's a lot of ability for anybody out there, any of you guys out there, to make games today. So it's a really exciting time, and I hope it continues to be like that.
So big question though, mobile or motion? Because I know we have the Xbox Connect, PS Move, the Wii U just came out.
Yeah.
Is it going to be mobile or is it going to be motion?
And that's an interesting question, because motion, as of right now, has been very living room intensive. And I think you're going to start seeing TVs having those kind of motion type of gesture controls. I think that the living room is going to be a communication hub where you can watch movies and TV shows with people. I mean, you can already do that with the Kinect. At the same time, the iPad, you can tilt it, you can shake it, you can do all kinds of stuff. It has motion, plus it has motion gestures on the screen. So not only does it have motion, but it's also it's kind of a Trojan horse, because I want to buy a new phone, I like the iPhone, let me get an iPhone. Oh, hey, there's Angry Birds on it, there's games on here. So it's already in your pocket. Now it's just something that you can play games on as well, and it's been that way for years. But it's there's a lot you can do with it. So interestingly enough, mobile, I think you're even going to stop calling it mobile very soon. Stop treating it as a, it's going to become, it's slowly taking over gaming. Last year, mobile devices, iOS and Android devices for gaming actually outsold consoles. They outsold console devices. Also, the Independent Games Festival, which is part of the Game Developers Festival, which will be at the end of March, they actually got rid of their mobile category. And not because they're not letting mobile in, but mobile is less of a sort of a island out on its own now. Now it's just another platform, and I think really where the industry's going, it's going to be a lot more mobile oriented. But that's just the way. You're going to start seeing, like, the Wii U consoles with touchscreen tablets. So that's probably going to be up and coming very soon.
All right, so thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone check out his book, Game Character Creation by Chris Totten. I will also post an image at the end of the video. And this is Ashton from PhD Play, signing off. Thank you.